Heard every Sunday morning right here on KSRO for over 35 years. Hosted by Allison Norman and Stephanie Norman, local realtors with local real estate experience. The Norman Home Team, a mother-daughter real estate team with Keller Williams Realty Wine Country. And now, here are Allison and Stephanie.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Morning.
It's a beautiful spring-like day today.
It is, except for the daylight savings.
But what we'll appreciate it this evening. What
Yes.
we didn't appreciate this morning, we'll appreciate this evening.
Very true. Good point.
So this is the one of 2 days a year where we get a little bit different of an audience because people are still on the other time in their home. What is this show? Anyway, welcome. Here we are. It's the Real Estate Hour.
Woo-hoo.
Sunday morning. What is today? The
8th.
8th. Today is February 8th. March. So let me just say, my dog kept me up all night, but and the time changed. So pardon my whatever. Anyway,
It is Sunday, March 8th.
yes.
Daylight savings.
Daylight savings. I think I had February in my head
And-
because I just pulled up all of the February
yeah,
sales
makes
from
sense,
last year versus this year. So we are going to talk about that today. But it is also, yesterday was International Women's Day. Woo woo. Shout out to all the women out there and all the men who support them and us. And then it is Women's History Month, I believe is what it's called. But in honor of that, we did pull up some data and information about women, the history of women in real estate and finance.
Yeah.
And for those of you that weren't around 50 years ago, you may be shocked to know it was only 50 years ago that women could not finance a home
that is
without a
crazy to
male
me.
co-signer, whether it was a brother, a father, a husband, uncle. It had to be a male co-signer. Couldn't get a credit card, couldn't get a bank account. There's actually an interesting story, and I don't have it here today, but about a group of women that started a bank, their own bank, because they could not have a bank account in their own name. So it started the first all-women bank. And so it's just, and then being able to buy a house and all that. So, as the old... hate to reference a cigarette commercial, but the old cigarette commercial, we've come a long way, baby, right? If you were as old as me, you remember that. But I think it was like Virginia Slims or something, and I'm not advocating that.
You were right. It was Virginia.
Well, yeah,
Slims.
gosh, the way that...
We're giving our age away.
They
aren't
can't
we, Alice?
do those commercials anymore. But anyway, we're aging ourselves over here, Joe and I.
Not
we
a hard
have-
thing to do.
But when you look back at the history of such recent history
it
of,
is crazy.
and myself being a single woman homeowner, it means something, to me, and to
definitely
that bought a
does. Well,
house by
your
myself
mom-
without.
That's when I realized it wasn't that long ago because your mom had
Yeah.
that happen, right? Where she couldn't-
Right. Well, my parents, when they divorced, it was in the, I think it was like mid to late 70s. And she, went back to work, and she did, and it was the whole, and she didn't have any credit. She didn't have anything of her own, so, it wasn't, and, she made it work, and she bought out, they owned a house together. She was able to get a loan and buy out, but I think it was just the very beginning of that.
Yeah.
So anyway, we have a little bit of a timeline and the history of that because I think it's important to remember just that it hasn't been that long, and we're not going to bash the men because y'all are wonderful too. But but it is International Women's Day, or was yesterday, and Women's History Month. So we are going to talk a little bit about that.
We also have the market
Yeah.
update.
Right, and a look at February last year versus this year. A little bit about land and zoning, and really not just land, but any property that, people think, oh, I'm going to buy this house or I'm going to buy this land and I'm going to do this and that and I'm going to put 4 houses on it and I'm going to put a couple of, I'm going to make it into a campground. I'm going to rent out all these things, stuff, and I'm going to have a fruit stand and I'm going to, all this stuff. And it's like, well, hang on a minute, can you, based on the zoning of this particular parcel, do that? And it's really important to know whether it's just bare land or like when we talked to Mike Trinan last week, can you put a septic in? Is there a way to hook up to water? Is there, or can you drill a well? Is there enough water to drill a well? To get a significant amount of water out of that.
We're not here to ruin your dreams. But.
I know. Well, it is. And so many people have these dreams of, I'm going to buy a little piece of land and I'm going to do all this stuff. And it's like, it's not
as easy
as it sounds. It's an amazing and honorable dream. And I would love to do the same thing, And I think the further out of out into rural you get, it's the easier it is to do some things I don't want to not get caught, so people do, park an RV there. If you're out in the middle of, 100 acres, maybe you're okay, not advocating that, but, and especially, Marin County, Sonoma County, Napa County, very restrictive on what you can do with your parcel, with your property, for ecological reasons, and all of that. If you get up, you go up to Mendocino County or up even Humboldt County, up further than that, they're a little looser on their restrictions. They still have rules and restrictions, and you have to follow them, and you need to know when you buy some land what that. So anyway, we're going to talk about zoning, as if we didn't already just now. We're going to break that down even further, and then, like Stephanie said, we have the numbers. Taking a look at that, and that'll be what we're talking about today. And just a reminder that next week we are talking with Kathleen Carney, who called in about 2 months ago, maybe. There was a problem with the live feed to the digital listening on KSRO. And I know a big part of our audience listens digitally or on the app. And so they weren't able to listen to her. So we invited her back to talk again about reverse mortgage. And, every time I talk about reverse mortgage with someone, even my own mother, I said, hey, why don't you look into reverse mortgage? She says, oh, no, I don't want to do that. It's changed so much, even in recent years, like in the last 5 years and 10 years, it's gotten better and better. And it's really a good tool or a good option to look at least. Don't dismiss it, to look at it and say, hey, maybe this will work for us because, you can pull the equity out of your home. You can get rid of your mortgage payments. You can buy a house with a reverse mortgage. So anyway, she's going to call in. She's also then that following Saturday, the 21st, I believe, we're doing, she's coming into our office on a Saturday late morning to talk about, I think 10:30 to 12, to talk in more depth about reverse mortgage and help people understand it more. And, we're inviting at-home caregivers that, I've talked to a few people we belong to a group called Section on Aging. That is a group of people that either work in senior care facilities or skilled nursing or at-home care, non-medical at-home care, all of the different people that work with seniors, and we're in that group because we work with a lot of families. We, if an owner has passed away of a property, they need to figure it out. But also, if they're trying to figure out how they can keep mom at home or keep dad at home, and how are they going to pay for it? So reverse mortgage is a great idea for that.
I think so too.
So we're inviting anybody that's interested. That'll be on the 21st. If you go to our website. You can go to normanhometeamwinecountry.com or just normanhometeam.com. And then you'll see our event calendar there, and it's right there. And just go in there and say, there's a little link to click and say you're coming. So we know you're there because we're going to give you some food. We are also this coming Tuesday. We haven't had a lot of activity of people signing up. We've got a lot of people kind of interested, but we don't have a lot of people signed up. But we're doing our taco bout real estate this Tuesday.
It'll be fun.
At our office, we're going to feed you tacos and talk about anything you want to talk about in real estate. Even if you're thinking about getting into real estate as a career, we're happy to chat with you about that, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The things that we didn't realize when we got into real estate, the things that you need to know about it, and the good stuff about it too. And or if you're curious about investing in real estate in other parts of the country or the world, we have resources to help you with that. So, our events are always free. They're never a hard sell on our sales whatsoever. No pressure. We're not going to make you do anything you don't want to. We're just there to give you some information. So we'd love to chat with you about real estate this Tuesday. So again, go to our website, normanhometeamwinecountry.com or just normanhometeam.com. I think it'll take you there. And look at our events and workshops calendar. It's right there at the front of the website when you open it up. But I think we need to take a break.
I believe so.
Yep. So let's take a break. We come back. We will talk about what happened in real estate this last week and this last month and what's currently happening in real estate here in Sonoma County. So we'll do that when we get back. I'm Allison Norman.
I'm Stephanie Norman.
We are the Norman Home Team, and you're listening to the Real Estate Hour. We'll be right back. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Sunday morning. Yes. March 9th.
Yes, March.
Got it right. March, not February.
March.
I just still can't believe it's already March.
I know.
What?
Your birthday month, St.
World?
Patrick's Day is next weekend? Or
yeah.
next week? I don't think it's on a weekend. Is it?
No,
I think it's Monday.
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, because
17th,
Sunday's the
right?
15th.
Yeah,
it's
the
Tuesday.
17th.
Is it a Tuesday? I think it's a Tuesday.
Might be Tuesday.
Anyway, so welcome back, and we were talking. We're going to talk about the numbers. So let's do that.
Let's do it.
So currently active here in Sonoma County right now. You can go out and look at it, put an offer in on it, unless they have a offer acceptance due date. But you could, or you could still put an offer in then. But these are currently active properties on the market right now. They're single family homes. We have 581 active single family homes. That number just continues to inch up ever so slightly. It was 508 a couple of weeks ago. On Super Bowl Sunday. So that was about a month ago. It was 508. So, we're up to 581 now. Normal for it to inch up, and we're expecting even more to come on the market. In fact, in your numbers, I think it was pretty high new listings just this week.
I think so, yeah.
So
it is a high number.
Yeah, so this is the time when people put their houses on the market, and they're for a lot of reasons. Sometimes they just think their house will show better in the spring, or they want to sell by summertime or by the end of May. So they're getting ready to put their house on the market now so that they can give a little time to get an offer. And then, it's typically about a 30-day escrow. And then they want to finish all that up while their kids are out of school and they can move during the summer and all of that. So that's a lot of reasons why in other parts of the country, it's because the snow is melting and you can actually see the house. But anyway, so here we're kind of, springtime all year round. But it is 581 single family homes. There are 258 in escrow. That number is kind of inching up just slightly as well. So that means that in escrow, the people putting offers in, getting offers accepted, buying homes, at least getting them accepted and going through the process, is keeping up with the for sale, what's active on the market. The median price for the active right now is $1,179,000. Those are the houses that are sitting on the market waiting for an offer. Median price of what somebody put an offer in, got the offer accepted, and now they're in escrow. That median price is $875, and we did have somebody ask us one time, why are those numbers different? It's because one is homes that are sitting on the market. That number is typically higher because the higher priced homes are sitting on the market. And then the ones typically going into escrow, we're seeing that middle of the market and the lower end of the market selling faster and going into escrow more quickly. So those the single family numbers. Condos, there's 124 active condos on the market. That's also a number that's going up, and up, and that's a big number for condos. There's a lot of, it's funny though, when these numbers get big and we go, oh my gosh, that's a lot. When you're actually out there showing clients and they're looking for a specific thing, there's not that many. So this is across the board. So if you're looking, and we tell you all the time, if you're looking in a specific neighborhood, specific area, specific type of property or town or whatever price point, let us know and we can give you the numbers for that specific that you're looking for that's more relevant to you. This is just an idea of the health and well-being of the market and what's happening.
Even if you're curious about your neighborhood, we can do that
if you're
too,
thinking of
so.
maybe selling in a couple of years.
Yeah.
What's the market looking in my neighborhood now? So anyway, 124 active condos, 53 in escrow. There are 87 mobile homes in park, the mobile homes that are in a park. The ones that are on land, on a permanent foundation, they show up in the single family home category. So if they're in a park, they're in the mobile home category. There are 87 active. There are 24 in escrow. Multi-units, 2 to 4 units. There are 86 active on the market with 6 in escrow. And those, that's a big difference, but that's normal that we sell a lot less. Although when we get to the sold, there's an interesting statistic there for this year versus last year.
Yeah, definitely.
Land, currently active, buildable residential land. There's 269 active listings on the market of land, and then 31 in escrow. Again, that's similar. That's normal for there to be that big difference in the numbers. Let's take a look. Let's look at the market so that what happened this last week, because I want to make sure we do that, and then we'll go back and look at what happened February 26 versus 25. How's that sound?
For today, this Sunday to last Sunday, new listings are at 133, back on market 18. The median list price for those new listings are $929,000, and then back on market is 18. Price reduction 56, in escrow 61, pending 44, sold 62 with a median sold price of $858,000 with an average of 69 days on the market. And for new listings, it's gone up about, I think there's like 20 something homes that have gone up since last weekend.
So 20 more than last weekend.
Yeah,
that
it was
number
at 110 last weekend, and it's at 133 today.
Wow. So when we say, the inventory is coming up because people are starting to put their houses on the market in the spring market, you can see that when you look, and why we like to look at week to week, because you can see stuff like that. It's like, wow,
definitely.
133 new listings just this week came on the market.
But
there are
spring
some
market we warn you guys about all the time.
right. But like a little over 100 in total. Well, 61 went into escrow, 44 went to pending. So I guess 61 of the, So anyway, it's not of the 133, but it's just showing you that that's keeping up with it, which is good. We don't want to see it get so uneven that there's too much inventory on the market. So it's good to see that the buyers are coming out and buying those properties. And really, a lot of people have been waiting. Like we said, we're showing property right now where there was actually quite a few things that came up in their price point and their criteria. But, we looked at probably 15 houses, maybe 16. And, 1 or 2 were a good fit. Everything else was like, nope. When we say there's more inventory, that doesn't necessarily mean it's in your price point and your type of property you're looking for.
Yeah, definitely.
So anyway, but it's good to see buyers out there keeping an eye on things.
I was just going to say, as always, congratulations to everyone who either bought or sold a home. It was a big deal, and you did it. Woohoo! You're either in a new home or you're on to a new adventure.
Yeah, I know. That's always so exciting. It's such a relief because people don't, a lot of times you don't realize how stressful it's going to be. We're helping somebody right now wrapping up. Yeah, and it's a lot at the last minute. You're like, these things. All of a sudden, I don't want to even think about packing up my house when I move at some point, because I've been there for almost 30 years.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to.
And yes. Anyway, there's a lot. So it's a lot. We can empathize with you.
Yes.
Me too. When you have to pack and it's crunch time. But anyway, yes, congratulations to everybody that bought or sold a house, or both. Sometimes it's that dual transaction where you're closing one, and then selling one, buying one simultaneously, and that's exciting too, and double the stress.
Yeah, definitely.
Double the relief when you're done. Anyway, yes, thank you to everyone that was involved in all of those as well. So let's do we have a minute to talk about, okay, quickly we'll go through. So what happened in February 2026 versus February 2025? Focus initially on single-family homes. There were 220 in February of 2026. We sold, not we, but the collective we sold 220 single-family homes in all of Sonoma County. The median price for those was $849,000, with 79 days on the market. In the prior year, February 2025. There was 223, so not a lot of difference. 3 more sold last year than this year. And the median price was exactly the same of those 223 that sold in February of 2025 and 26 were both 849,000. The days on the market is actually a little bit higher this year than it was last year. It was 69 days on the market last year. And this is average days on the market. When we pull up the data, there's median days on the market and there's average. I like to look at the average days on the market, but we look at the median price point because that puts you right in the middle, and it's a different result and makes more sense to do it that way. Yeah. So anyway, that's how I do it. So condos, there were 27 condos that sold this year versus 33 condos that sold last year. That's condos and townhouses. And then mobile homes in a park, there were 22 that sold this year versus 19 that sold last year. And then multi-units, this was an interesting number to me. And again, we're just looking at 1 month. But this year, 19 multi-units sold, 2 to 4 units, wow. And only 4 last year. So I don't know why the big difference. I know there's a lot more people looking at multifamily housing for themselves to buy with an in-law or even just different families or different friends buying a place where they can all, have their own house or whatever, So I don't know if that, it's an interesting, big difference. And then land, buildable residential land, 15 sold this year in February. 2 of them were ours. No, only 1 was ours because the other had a house on it. So, but 1 of them was ours. And then 16 last year in February. So pretty similar. The only thing that really stands out to me is that multi-unit in February. So it'll be interesting to see if March, if that's a consistent trend or if that was just a fluke in February. Anyway, that's what we have for what happened in real estate and what's currently going on in real estate right now in Sonoma County and last month versus last year and all that.
If you were trying to keep up with those numbers, we post them every Sunday. I put them all together and I post them on our Facebook page, the Real Estate Hour of Allison and Stephanie Norman. So check
the Real
that
Estate
later
Hour
today and they'll be up.
Yes. That's on Facebook. So, and Stephanie's really good about getting those numbers up. So thank you for that. Let's take a quick break for the news, and then we'll talk more about zoning, subdivision, CC&Rs, all that good stuff. I'm Allison Norman.
I'm Stephanie Norman.
We are the Norman Home Team, and you're listening to the Real Estate Hour. We'll be right back.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
We're back.
Raise your hand if you've been waking up to the sounds of birds chirping outside your window.
Love it.
Are y'all raising your hand?
One of my favorite things.
There's one I located it yesterday because I have to know what that bird. It's really loud and it's this cute little chirp. It's the little tiny gray bird with a little black like a little crop on its head. What do they call it? It's like is it the little titmouse?
It's a titmouse, yeah. They're so cute.
It's loud. Oh my gosh, but it's such a cute sound. Anyway, I love that part about springtime. Anyway, and speaking of spring, it's that time of year in Sonoma County where the mustard starts to bloom. It's one of my favorite things.
Mine too.
It's that, and then when the vineyards turn all the different colors in the fall. So those are kind of my two visual favorite things about Sonoma County and seasonal things. But we were going to talk for a minute about the marvelous mustard. And did you know that's what it was? I mean, I think everybody that lives here knows that, but people come from out of town. They're, what are all these beautiful yellow flowers everywhere?
I've seen people post pictures of the flowers like, these yellow flowers are so pretty, but they don't know that they're mustard.
Yeah, so whether it's growing in the wild or planted by thoughtful vineyard managers, mustard is more than just a feast for the eyes. It actually feasts for the vines. It also controls hillside erosion in vineyards. It thrives just until bud break, and then it's turned under to mulch and provide valuable nutrients and phosphorus to the emerging grape plants. And I learned that when I went on a tour at Benziger Winery. They're very eco-friendly. They do things very with the ecologically, in mind. If you ever get a chance to go on their little tour, it's very interesting, the things that they do that are natural to protect and benefit their crops. But I'm sure there's other vineyards too. That's just the one I know of. But anyway, so there is a practice, which is I thought the interesting history about mustard in Sonoma County. With deep wine country roots, according to legend, a Franciscan missionary first spread the mustard seed while landscaping church properties throughout California. Planting was simple. These early world gardeners carried the mustard seeds in a sack slung over their back, and each sack had a small hole in it. So as they worked, the seeds would just scatter, and that was kind of the beginning of that. So
love that. Yeah, it's always my favorite thing is when the mustard comes out, and it's spring. Spring is coming, and then when fall comes and all the vineyards turn that really
the
pretty
orange
color
and yellow and red and
love that.
All the things. So lastly, if you want to impress your friends with your newfound mustard knowledge, here you go. Mustard growth help. This is actually a little thing I just found that I used to send out to people or put in a newsletter every year. If you want to impress your friend, mustard growth helps suppress nematode population, microscopic worms that can damage the vines because mustard contains high levels of biofumigants. Some vineyards have created their own varieties that are specifically bred to have high levels of glucosinolate compounds or are extra spicy to further deter nematodes. And then essentially the worms don't like the glucosinolates in the mustard, which give the plant its pungent odor and sharp taste, and naturally reducing harmful nematodes with mustard spares the vineyards from dangerous chemical eradicators and pesticides. You're welcome for all that mustard knowledge.
So this might be a dumb question, but is the yellow mustard the same as the mustard we eat?
I believe so.
Interesting.
Yes, I don't know what part of it they use, but yeah.
The yellow part, probably.
You think? I don't know. Maybe. Well, I don't know. There's like the ground up. There's the Dijon, and there's all the others. The yellow, they probably put some yellow in there to make it look so yellow. I don't know. You stumped me with that one. I'm sure somebody listening's yelling out the answer right now.
Although we do have an email where it's no dumb questions. So technically, there's no dumb question.
There is no dumb question. So you send me that question. I'll look it up. Yeah. No. Now I'm intrigued. I need to know. But yes, I believe. Yes. I don't know what part of it, but yes, they do make mustard out of the mustard flour.
Maybe we'll find the answer to that and post it on the Facebook page.
I'm going to post this, too, on the Facebook page on the Real Estate Hour with Allison and Stephanie Norman. So you can impress your friends with your new mustard knowledge. So when people come into town, they go, what is this beautiful yellow flower everywhere? And you can say, let me tell you about that. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so speaking of land and beautiful things growing on land, it's the other favorite part of spring to me is not just the yellow flowers, but the green thing. What was that? Joe's waving his arm. Are you raising your hand?
Yes, I am, and I just want to say
you look it up?
I got a yes. The brilliant yellow flower blooming in Sonoma County vineyards from late January through early March are indeed wild mustard plants.
All right. Well, we knew that.
So,
do they make mustard out of it? What part of the plant?
But I said they're like mustard.
Yeah.
And it says yes.
Yeah, good.
So
yeah.
Go with the yes.
We knew that. We just weren't confident in our yes. We just know all these fun facts. So anyways, the other thing I love about spring here is that green. When I was a kid and people would say, what's your favorite color? Spring green. It was not green. It wasn't. Well, it was spring green and purple together. Yeah. That was like always my answer, spring green. But so this time of year, my eyes are just like, oh my God, green, yellow flowers. So I'm loving it, and that was a segue to our land. And what can you do with the land that you buy? Our Mark West Springs property, just beautiful right now, and that sold this last month. We're a little jealous, and we miss it. Yeah, we're a little jealous of the family that bought that, because we are excited, but we're a little jealous because
we loved it.
I'm all, man, if nobody buys this, I'm going to find a way to buy it. But It's so pretty right now. But the thing is that what comes up when you're buying land or you have these dreams and your rose-colored glasses on going, oh, land, I'm going to buy some land. I'm going to get 100 horses and I'm going to, all of my family is going to have their own little house and we're going to put a lake in and we're going to do all these things.
You're taking that straight from my dreams.
Hey, I know it's on our dream board. But it's like, okay, well, hang on, back up. And our job as your realtor is to really kind of
crush your dreams. Just kidding.
No,
we want to help you achieve that dream
in a way that makes sense, and by giving you real sound advice and information, so that you know that okay, if I want that, here's where I need to be looking. And the first thing you need to do is find what the zoning is, and there's different zone. There's a base zone. There's zones that have to do with what you can build. There's zones that have to do with how many houses you can put, what you can do, the use zones. And so there's the base zone, and then there's overlays. So the base zone is the one that matters the most. However, well, I shouldn't say it matters the most. It's the first one. And then but then you have to look beyond that and go, okay, so I could put 2 houses on this lot. But can I have, does it have ag use? Can I have a vineyard? Can I have commercial, can I put a wine tasting room? Can I have a event center? All those things. And some of the overlays it's in a riparian creek, area. It's close to a major, what they call a blue line creek, which is, you can essentially see the blue line on the map, and that makes us the easiest way to define a blue line creek. But it's a more of a major creek, and if it's close to that, then there are things that you have to do that you can't be close to that. As far as septic, well, all those things you need to, and building, And then there's our beautiful oak trees. Is it the valley oaks? No, gosh, I'm drawing. It's the heirloom. Sure. Oh, anyway. Oh my gosh, I've lost the word. But anyway, I think it's the heritage oaks. But anyway, those they're protected. So can you put a house right there? Or can you cut this tree down? Not necessarily, and probably not, unless it's it's in danger of hurting your house or something. Then that's different. But that if you want to build a house, so things like that you have to be careful of. If it's I'm trying to think of all the different zones. The Sonoma County Permit Sonoma, formerly known as PRMD, Permit Resource Management Division or Department. I think it's Department. I always want to say Division, but anyway. They made it easier for us all and called it Permit Sonoma, which all us old-time realtors call it PRMD still. But Permit Sonoma, there is a place that you can look for the zoning. And actually, when we pull up, or call your realtor, or call your friend who's a realtor, or call us. We'll be, and we don't have to be a realtor, but we can, unless you're already working with a realtor, give us a call. Give us the property address. We'll get you all the information you need on what the zoning is for this. But they have a really good list of all the different zonings, and there is a way to look, so you look at the base zone, and then you're going to look at all the overlays, and that'll tell you what you can do. And it's a really comprehensive list of things that you can do on these different properties, and then that gives you an idea. And then you're going to go to the county, and you're going to sit down and talk to somebody. And you're going to find out for sure, this property, what can I do? So it's really important to know all those things. And that's if you're thinking about building on a piece of land or expanding, adding another house on a piece of land you already have. Or you want to open a roadside fruit stand, can you do that? Or make an event center in your backyard, because you have a beautiful place to do that. Can you do that? So some of the things, zoning rules, permitted uses is the one. Whether you can build homes, offices, retail, or light manufacturing, and then dimensional standards. There's setbacks, like if there's that blue line creek, or if there's a house over here, how close can you be to the other property line?
Driveways are a big one.
Yeah, and driveway. Yeah, there was one that we ended up not selling, and he took it off the market. But it was really hard to figure out where to put a driveway in. And with our property, we have a listing right now, a bank-owned property that's just under a quarter acre on a hillside in San Rafael, and they require a 2-car garage. No, they require 2 off-street parking, covered parking, plus 2 additional parking spots. So this is it's on Coleman Way or Drive. Coleman Drive in San Rafael off of Lincoln. Runs parallel to the Highway 101 heading south into San Rafael. And it's, you're looking at it going, there's no way. Where are you going to put 2 cars plus 2 more cars? You could put the carport into the driveway, into the hill kind of, and then build the house over it, I think, or a garage. I think there are a way, and we did go talk to the city, and she said they do, if you've exhausted everything else to try and build something on, because they are pro housing. They want to see people build houses. They actually allow a house in an ADU on this particular parcel, but it's on a hillside, So there's really no way to put a driveway. So the other property I'm talking about was in Sebastopol. Also, there wasn't enough. It had to have turnouts. It had to have, for fire safety, there had to have, a place you could turn out, a place you could pass. So there's all these things where you can't just say, look at a piece of land and go, oh, I'm going to do this. Yeah. And then I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do all of this. And because you can't, you can't just do it. You have to,
If you are looking for a property that you can do that with, reach out to us and we can do our best to help you find one.
Yeah, we'll help you make sense of it.
And we'll help you make your dreams come true.
Absolutely. And I'm part of Keller Williams Land, KW Land, which is one of the separate divisions of Keller Williams Realty. So we get a lot of good information about things you need to know about buying land all over the country, really. So it is a group of agents that specialize in land. We don't I don't know if we would say we specialize in land, because we do also residential and everything else, but we do definitely know about land and sell some land. So it is one of our specialties, and we are happy to help you. And we can absolutely see that vision that you have and want to help you move forward with it. So if you're thinking about buying land, let us help you figure it out. And like I said, there are currently active 269 active buildable residential lots and land. So let us help you with that. Anyway, you can always reach out to us. 707-799-3617. I said that really fast. 707-799-3617. Or like Stephanie's been saying, go to our Facebook page, The Real Estate Hour with Allison and Stephanie Norman. We're going to take a quick break. We come back. We're going to talk about the history of women in real estate and some statistics that are pretty cool. So, and some history that's kind of crazy. So anyway, we will talk about all that when we get back. I'm Allison Norman.
I'm Stephanie Norman.
We are the Norman Home Team, and you're listening to The Real Estate Hour. We'll be right back. Good morning, We're back. It is the Real Estate Hour.
Good morning.
Heard every Sunday morning.
Yes, it is.
We're just having, what is that hum?
I know, it's like
I think the air
keeps coming on and off.
It's I had to put my fan on last night. And
Me too. It has been hot. Surprisingly hot.
We're so wimpy.
I know.
Oh, it's cold. It's 60 degrees, or it gets up to 80, and we're all, oh my God, it's so hot.
We have pretty good weather here in Sonoma County.
We shouldn't complain.
We're pretty spoiled.
Yes, that's why we
also
pay the big bucks to live here. Anyway, let's talk about International Women's Day, which was yesterday. Oh, we're going to first talk about, I forgot we were going to mention.
So
we had a great, we had our Keller Williams Awards dinner for Keller Williams Wine Country, which is the brokerage that we work with.
Here in Santa Rosa.
Here in Santa Rosa, Petaluma also. We have some agents that work down in Marin, including us that cover Marin County. But yeah, so we had our awards dinner.
We did, and it was in downtown at Calamera Bar and Grill. It was amazing food.
Yeah, Greek, Turkish, like Mediterranean grill. They had really good food, and they're just such a nice guy that owns the place, and all the staff was wonderful, and they put up with our big group and did a great job.
They did a great job. The owner
really
was amazing.
Anyway, so we got a little award. Second
place.
Next, so we have something to strive for as far as team. So we were
Yeah.
the number 2 team in our brokerage, and a silver award recipient. Which given the weird couple of years we had, that were just
Well,
and everybody had, we were happy to get the silver award.
and I just wanted to mention I don't know if it's sentimental, but it was kind of a weird moment for me because I'm used to being the one recording Allison getting the award and cheering her on, and we won another past year where I did get an award with her, but this year was more like woo, like we got number 2
top team. Yeah, one of the top teams in the
got
brokerage.
to accept the award with her, and it was just
It's usually, you're right, because usually, I know I'm all, who's going to take a picture?
I know. Usually it's me taking the picture and taking the video and cheering you on.
Yeah,
and this year I was with you.
That was awesome. We got to go up as a team.
kind
Well, I was
of a
going to
cool
pull
feeling.
you up there even if they forgot to mention you, but no, it was the team. It was a team award. So,
Yeah.
it's been a weird few years, and I think everybody is a little happy to see this market coming up, and
I think so too, yeah.
even last year,
It's definitely picking
things
up.
were better than the year before. So, yes. It's going to be a better year. And although,
It is.
there's all these things happening in the world now that have people a little nervous
Yeah.
again. So we'll see. But I think, real estate is kind of a constant that, it has still continued to go up. Ever so slightly, not like it did in
Yeah.
2020. But anyway, so congratulations to us. And all of our colleagues who also were there. And it's just it's fun to be in a room with other people that are striving to and doing and thriving and doing well in a really hard market right now. So
It's pretty amazing.
congratulations to all of us and to all of our colleagues that also do a great job.
And definitely check out that restaurant.
Yeah, it's right downtown.
We'll share it on
right-
our Facebook page so that you can see it.
Yes, let's do that. Okay, so a little bit about women in real estate. There is, let me lose. So like we were saying, it's only been 50 years since women could actually own land by themselves. Be on I think they could be on a deed. But they couldn't get financing. They couldn't get a loan. All of that.
They couldn't even have a bank account, right?
I know, right? Yeah. So looking at, I have to find that story because there's a story about a group of women that couldn't put money in a bank account. They couldn't open a bank account. So they pooled their money. They each got together like $100 or $1,000, probably 100, which was a lot back then. But maybe not because it wasn't that long ago. So maybe $1,000, and they went and opened their own bank and pooled their money together and created their own bank because somebody said, well, you can't do that. And they said, oh, yeah, watch us.
That's how we are, too.
Which is a very nice trait that a lot of women have.
Yes.
Okay, so here's a little bit about women and home ownership timelines. So in 1862, there was a Homestead Act, which allowed single women to own land. So you could own land, but you couldn't do the financing part of it. In 1968, there was a Fair Housing Act, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago in in Black History Month. That affected also women, the Fair Housing Act. So anti-discrimination about, who can own a home and where you can own a home and all of that. And then it's 1974, the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. Women could now get credit without a male cosigner.
That is
just
crazy.
Boggles my mind that it was 1974. 1988, the Fair Housing Amendments strengthened those protections. And as of today, women are one of the fastest growing groups of homeowners.
Woohoo!
What? Yeah. So, go us women. And then early, sorry. So a little bit more about what the Homestead Act was. In 1862, it allowed single women, widows, and divorced women to claim land in the West. And then in the late 1800s to early 1900s, the states gradually passed Married Women's Property Acts, which allowed married women to own property in their own names. However, even after these laws, financial independence remained restricted, especially regarding banking and credit. By the 1960s, women could legally open bank accounts in many places, but banks often required a husband's permission or signature. Credit cards, loans, and mortgages. Before the 1970s, lenders often refused mortgages or credit to women without a male cosigner. And then in 1974, that Equal Credit Opportunity Act, a major turning point. The law made it illegal for lenders to discriminate based on gender, marital status, race, religion, national origin. And then after this law, women could apply for credit cards, mortgages, and loans in their own name. Lenders could no longer require a husband to co-sign. This dramatically increased women's ability to purchase homes independently. So,
awesome.
Woo woo. And then, sorry, we need our little bells.
I know.
But women in today's housing market, the homeownership by gender, women have become one of the largest groups of home buyers in the U.S. Single homeowners, single women own about 20.3 million homes across the U.S. Single men own about 14.9 million homes. Single women own millions more homes than single men nationwide. And I've always said, I think we have more of that nesting, wanting to secure something. Mm-hmm. It's kind of in our DNA and our than men do, I think. And there's nothing badder, and we're not bashing men. We're celebrating and lifting up women. But anyway, but I think there's a reason why.
I think so too, yeah.
And, if you're suppressed for a while and then you're not, it's like, okay, let's go. So among unmarried homeowners, 58% are women and 42% are men, and that gap is increasing every time I look it up. So
that's crazy information.
Yeah, so that's 20%. Typical U.S. home buyers today: married couples 62%, single women 20%, single men 8%, and other households, which is probably just jointly owned, 10%.
Wow. Okay.
So there you go.
I think we're running out of time.
We are.
Here,
so let's tell people where they can find us.
Yes, you can find us on Facebook, The Real Estate Hour with Allison and Stephanie Norman. You can find us on YouTube.
Sonoma County Real Estate Hour. It's on YouTube. Go to YouTube, Sonoma County Real Estate Hour.
Okay. And then what else do we have? Facebook,
Or Facebook.
YouTube. Oh, KSRO. Find us on KSRO.com.
Yep. Joe is always very good about
expert. I cannot talk this morning.
Yeah, so Joe puts the recorded, what you just heard, or maybe it came in late and you go, I want to hear it from the beginning. Then Joe will put that up, and you can find it at KSRO.com and go to Ask the Expert. You go to shows, then Ask the Expert, and then look for the Real Estate Hour.
And I also always share it to our Facebook page, Real Estate Hour with Allison and Stephanie Norman.
Yeah.
And I post the numbers. We will post some of what we talked about today. And our YouTube video will be up eventually.
No, shortly. Today or tomorrow. I have a busy day today, but probably today or tomorrow.
Yeah. We have a pretty busy week, so we will do our best to get everything up.
So, go out and have a great day. Enjoy this beautiful sunshine. We tell all these ways to get a hold of us, except our phone number. It's at the end of the recording. The show, but it's 707-799-3617, or like Stephanie said before, nodumbquestion@gmail.com. You can find us there and ask us any questions, or just say hello. And sign up for our event on the 10th.
Yes, sign up.
Okay, have a great day. I'm Allison Norman.
I'm Stephanie Norman.
Norman Home Team. Have a great day.
You've been listening to The Real Estate Hour with Allison and Stephanie Norman, the Norman Home Team on KSRO. Join them every Sunday morning at 9. Sonoma County real estate market knowledge from real estate professionals born and raised in the North Bay. You can reach Allison and Stephanie anytime. Call or text 707-799-3617. The Real Estate Hour with Allison Norman and Stephanie Norman. Sunday mornings at 9 on KSRO and KSRO.com.